Oh, the temperature outside is hot. It's good to have a place to sit down and be away from the sun or whatever. Yeah. So I'm just saying something. I need to mention a very important point about the Sinjan, the Sinjan area, the eastern Turkmenistan, the Uyghurs in China. That these people should have their own independent. They should grant their own independent. And if you look at the 90s, and I mean, they use before. Yeah, I mean, Eastern Turkmenistan have nothing to do with China. The Chinese always the other authentic of China, who are considered the natives in Beijing, have nothing to do absolutely with the people of Xinjiang, of Eastern Turkmenistan. It's considered this area is Turkmenistan. The Turkmenistanis are the first to be there, and others mixed with the Indo-Europeans and the European Indians, regardless. So they have nothing. The Chinese in Peking have nothing to do in the coast of the south have nothing to do with Xinjiang. Xinjiang should be an independent state. People after 11 September, the inside job, and after the war in Iraq, all of these reactions here and there, this last president have destroyed the self-government agreement. Hukum that. They sent the Uyghurs used to have their own self government, government, which is Hukum Dati. They changed it. Don't you even think about it. There is other groups, I consider it dark groups, who said, you know what, there is a lot of reactions in the Muslim world. Why don't you go to Singan? There is a lot of oil, a lot of minerals. Just take it and occupy it and make it part of your Chinese Republic, and prosecute the Muslims so that there will, because the Muslim, we don't want them to be united, and we don't want them to be powerful for certain plans internationally or in Middle East mainly. So just there's a chance, almost 30 million person there. Just get rid of them. 30 million Muslims, make them persecuted by the Chinese. So the Chinese did that recently by the last president, and the persecution exceeded the imagination. Camps for millions of people, unbelievable. And now they changed it in 2019. They are saying that 1,000 of people disappeared, and they are imposing the way of Peking to those poor people who are persecuted. In the meantime, there is some reactions, which is called terrorist attacks, bombs happening, attacking soldier happening, people driving the car and killing others, it's happening. All of this is happening. Can we consider it terror? Then why the Chinese consider it a liberation against the Japanese when the Russian and America came and released China from Japan? You understand me? The Japanese, when they went to China, the Chinese should keep their mouth shut. There was certain reaction, but it was a very weak reaction because Japan was a very powerful power before. So the Chinese reacted, and the Japanese considered no consideration, deleted. The Japanese deleted any type of reactions, but the Chinese considered that an emerge of resistance. You will never find a Chinese saying that we made some terrorist attack against the Japanese when they occupied us, when they, I'm sorry to use this word, when they fucked the Chinese. Sometimes I don't blame them. Really, I don't blame them for what we're seeing right now. I mean, it's the century of the devil. Well, I see it in times prophecies. I think it's been, I'm 80% sure that this is the end time century. Satan's century. By this, all of these reactions by the Uyghurs and those native Muslims in Eastern Turkmenistan, which is occupied, this is a resistance act. It's not terrorist. China shouldn't say we are serious on fighting terror. In the international community, of course, by the lead of the United States of America, And they executed so many. They executed thousands of the natives there. And of course, the American, the West. I'm not talking about the norm. I'm talking about the governments. Enjoyed it. I'm wondering about certain dark groups. Are you? I have enough. If you go to Iran and talk to them, the Iranis are welcoming what the Chinese are doing in Singan, Eastern Turkmenistan. As a matter of fact, the Iranian tried to take advantages by imposing the so-called Shiite Islam in the Eastern Turkmenistan. But the Chinese said, you know what, we don't want anything to do with Muhammad or Islam. We're an extreme communist. And by our own way. Okay? Just we're friends with Chinese in Iran. Just leave this Eastern Turkmenis. We will rescue them and everyone is with us in this world. Russia is with us. Russia faced problems in Chechnya when they occupied Chechnya or Afghanistan. So why not destroy? I'm wondering. I mean, I, I don't want even to mention those who call themselves worshippers of God. And look what's happening, for example, in the Muslim world, the Ishmael. Is this what God wants? I mean, so I'm just saying that this is resistance. Resistance, and we need to understand that by the network of reason, things affect each other. And many people are struggling and live in a terrible, terrible situation. Thank you. I'm explaining about my personal case with an alignment of understanding Islam, which is submission to the creator of existence, and Muhammad is the final messenger, and you need to understand that so that you would understand God accurately and perfectly. And it's a personal, unjust case for myself with an alignment of understanding the Ishmaelian people rights in their Ishmaelian land. I'm not saying that they are angels, they are human like any other nation on planet Earth, but I'm just explaining about them and their case and the unjust happening there, creating destruction to the good ones among them, and empowering even betrayers among them, empowering the enemies and destroying the identity and the self-esteem of this nation. YouTube community complying.